Bryan Young got elected into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations. He's extremely deserving. I think this is overdue. The way I remember it was in the late 90s Niners. I thought he was the best player on those teams. Steve was in his mid-30s, he was like 35 at the end. Jerry was getting a little bit older. I thought late 20s, Bryant Young, before he broke his leg, was the best player on that team. And was, he was like, he was the best player in that team. And as far as defensive tackles of that era, was him, Warren Sapp, and Randall. He was as good as any of them. He was a better run defender than Warren Sapp, and he never got to play alongside, was it Simeon Rice? If you took Warren Sapp off that Bucs team and put Bryant Young on it, they might have been even better. So I'm glad, as we see now, these Debo, Nick Bosa, no freaking recognition for no good reason. Maybe it is something to do with being on the Niners, but I'm glad Bryant Young made it in.
Me too. I was there for that Monday night game where he did break both those bones in his lower leg. I remember the air going out of Candlestick. Like, again, your memory creates these pictures that you have, so who knows how accurate it is. But I remember that scene of players immediately on both sides of the ball. When it's that type of an injury, both sides are calling immediately for trainers to come out, and you get sort of this panic that sets through the stadium where everyone doesn't know what's going on. It felt very similar to the Trenton Cannon injury that happened this past year in Seattle, where even the Seahawks fans that were surrounding me in the stands were immediately concerned for the health of the human being on the field. And I just remember him fondly. I thought that Matt Barrows put together a phenomenal piece. He's one of my favorite writers that covers the 49ers, has been for a long time. But he talked about the history of Bryant Young and why he was deserving of this honor. And to me, it is long overdue. When you listen to players, I heard Michael Irvin on Matt Mayoko's podcast just this week, talking about Bryant Young and the possibility of him getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. And when a player of Michael Irvin's caliber is talking about him as if he was a monster on the field, wrecking games, when you hear that type of language used to describe the individual from someone who understands what it takes to be a Hall of Famer, to me, it was a well-deserved recognition.
Absolutely. Anything else we can say about Bryant Young? It was Ken Norton who hit him. Remember that?
It was. Yeah, it was his helmet came into contact with his shin, and of those two, the helmet is a little more rigid.
Gone for a while. He came back, and he was still great. Still great. He played with Patrick Willis for 1 year, I believe.
That could be the case, given when he retired. When he had 8 sacks when he was 32 in 2005. I mean, he was dominant for a long time. He came back after that injury was November 30th. He comes back, plays the entire season. That was in doubt, certainly, with the late injury, and has his second best season of his career with 11 sacks. He was the comeback player of the year, played 8 more years after that, was carried off the field in his last game for the 49ers where they upset the Bucs. I mean,
how many Niner players get carried off the field? Him, Jerry Rice, like how many?
Yeah, you are in elite company. I mean, it's crazy. Do you want to know a quick aside on him? A little known fact. I'm guessing, again, I got to give it to Matt Barrows for bringing this out, but I found it fascinating.
I love Matt.
He was the first wideback. His nickname coming out of Notre Dame was wideback because of his impressive physique. So Deebo Samuel is actually the second wideback that the 49ers have had.
Can I just say that the only reason people know I hate to toot my own horn, but I asked that question. Everyone says the wideback thing. I said, Deebo, if someone who didn't know you came up to you and asked you what position you played, what would he say? And he, without hesitation, said wideback. And that's what, I just want to say, I got that answer. I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud of that.
You should be. You absolutely should be. It's priceless.
Because a lot of times people ask athletes really technical questions that it's not their job to know. Why don't you ask something a little bit more personal? Like, what do you call yourself? How do you think of yourself? How do you identify? I like that. Anyway.
Get them to talk about things they're passionate about.
All right. Let's take some donations. Karan, you forgot the coffee mug game. Everyone. Oh, that's true. Your mug game is on point.
It's phenomenal.
It's on point. And actually, if you think about it, like a good talk show host has to have a coffee mug every time. Name me one good talk show host that didn't have a coffee mug. Oh, wait. Serious. I got to set my game up, man. See, the thing about Rob, he's already thought of that. The little details. Coffee mug. But if he panned out, I bet he had a full desk, kind of like the Daily Show. I'm trying to buy a house this year, and I want to set up like a full studio, make it like real great. And I want to hire a full-time crew that like swoops in, have the different. I'm gonna pay for it. I'm gonna do it. I don't care.
I will happily consult, Grant. I have definitely built out the studio here.
I'm gonna be like Pat McAfee. I'm only gonna wear tank tops. I'm never gonna sit down. I'm gonna just have as much energy as possible all the time. It's gonna work. So Trey got teammates, Jimmy Stans, ex-Niners players root against him. I like Lance Oz to prove them all wrong. It's true, man. Like, can we think of it? It's great that everyone has Jimmy's back. It's about to be Trey's team. He's 22. He didn't ask for any of this. It's a little much. I think it's time for the whole organization, Niners Nation, which I'm not a part of, to probably embrace this kid. I mean, do you understand? He's basically Frodo, right? He's tasked with bringing the ring to the mountain. Everyone's like, he can't do it. He's not ready. Let's give it back to the guy who fumbled it twice at the mountain. Made it all and fumbled it twice. Let's give him a third chance because this dude just isn't ready. I feel kind of bad for him. It's rough.
Is Jimmy G like Gollum in that analogy, to where you're like, no, just give it back, give the ring back to Gollum. He wasn't great with it, but like he had it for a long time.
A third expedition to Mordor with Jimmy Garoppolo. We really got to do that again. He's going to get real close. He's going to get past the dragon. He's going to get up the hill. He's going to sprain his ankle on the way up the hill and be like, damn it. It hurts. It stings. Whew.